More analysis now with Abdennour Toumi, who is joining us from the French capital. He's an Africa-France relations analyst at ORSAM. Abdennour, thanks for speaking to us on the News Hour. France, as we've been hearing over these last 2 days, very vocal about what's happening in Niger. But as a former colonial power, still with troops on the ground, as we heard there from Samson, how much influence does Paris have right now?
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. Yes, France still has influence and it still has power, but as we noticed lately, I mean, this power, I would say this influence, has been in decline since 2013, following the several operation in Mali, and then that was enhanced by Berkane, and in between the Sengari in Central Africa operations, I mean, these military operations, which all these operations and these direct France interference and interventions on the ground did create a huge sense of French anti-sentiment among the population, not only in these two, what used to be the French Sahel backyard, Mali and Niger, now has extended to Burkina Faso and to some extent Central Africa country, and also even in Chad. But this series of coups, military coups that has been going on since 2020, started from Mali, Burkina Faso, Central Africa, Guinea. I would add even, I mean, I can go further, even in Sudan, which has also, I mean, the war, the two generals' war going on in Sudan, has direct ramification in terms of security and political vacuum in the region. Therefore, all these elements are, of course, not going in favor of France, that, I mean, the colonial country that has been taking these countries for granted and using its natural resources for its economic purpose.
And Emmanuel Macron has said that he is pulling back soldiers from the Sahel region, from French influence that's taking place there. But with France reducing its presence, does it not then create a situation that paves the way for other countries to take over, like what we saw in Mali, where the Wagner group is now very active, and they're, of course, linked to Russia? Could we see more of that happening with Russia replacing France?
It is indeed. I mean, this trajectory of the coups, I mean, goes toward that analysis, in which indeed is paving the road for other countries. And this is not new. I mean, of course, we're speaking about the presence of Russia following the coups in Mali and Central Africa and Burkina Faso, and lately now in Niger and so on. But it was before that, I mean, it goes like decades ago, the presence of the Chinese, and lately, I mean, Turkey has positioned itself in a good manner as a stabilizing force, as of course, and it's legitimate for the latter to be as a rising state to position itself following all these chaos. That, to some, how French, I would say, arrogance and attitude, I mean, politicians and decision makers in the region have created this political and security vacuum, in which is now challenging France's national security and economic interests. Now, in Niger, for instance, that there is an Iranian factor, that this important element, it's a vast, I would say, a network of nuclear power, that plants that run in France economic, and following the ongoing gas crisis in the world. So all these, again, are not working in favor in France. And there is, I mean, for no doubt, and we saw that in the reportage, that even the local population has been very, very tired of the French, again, attitude, arrogant, and to some extent, patronage. And I think we saw this new elite, military, political, and civil society actors are saying to France, it's enough.
Yeah, clearly being seen on the ground right now. Abdennour Toumi, live there from Paris. Thank you so much.